Hey, it's Matt Quistor for Crazy Mo Guitar. In this video, you're going to learn about how to bar. So this is very important. It's the essential for a lot of what we actually do at Crazy Mo Guitar. So hopefully I can help you help yourself to bar. Let's check it out. And the cats agree. Okay, so the first step to barring is to actually go to the bar and bring back a few mixed drinks because you're going to need them. I'm kidding. So one of the first things you want to realize when you're barring is you're not going to be able to see a lot. The main mistake I see a lot of guitar players do is they have the neck of the guitar pulled way in so they can see what they're doing. What happens is your elbow goes way out and your wrist is in a position that you can barely even pick your nose, much less bar a chord. So the first thing is to make sure you look at the angle of the guitar neck to your body. If I'm looking down, my guitar neck is about a 45-degree angle from the left. This way I can use my dots and the tops to see where I'm going, but it allows me to bring my elbow way in, and that's very important. The wrist position has got to be like this so that you can get your first finger straight. If it's pulled like this, your first finger starts to curve. So you gotta make sure it's angled out and your elbow is way in, I mean super far in, almost like it's coming out of your stomach. That puts your first finger in the correct position. When you're barring, you're not gonna use the flat part of the finger, you're gonna use the side. So what I have people do, we're gonna practice just starting off with barring the 5th fret. Looking at your fret wire, if you actually place your first finger on the wire and roll it to the left, like you're going to roll off that fret wire. That, as you can see, my elbow kind of shifts in, my wrist gets twisted out a little bit. That puts all the pressure on the side of the finger. Not on the flat part, but on the side, the bony part. And what that does is it almost acts like a capo. You're allowing your finger to not worry about the grooves where your knuckles are. You're giving yourself way more freedom to have the finger in different positions to help with stretching and whatnot. So your first step is to literally just bar the 5th fret. So you put your finger down on that wire, you roll to the left, elbow swings in, and you should be able to just kind of strum through those strings. Now if you hear like, if there's a dead note there, you can figure out which string is the problem, try to adjust your pressure. When you're first doing barring, you might think you're applying even pressure with your first finger, but a lot of times you might be just Hulk smashing the E and the A string or the high E and the B and not getting an even amount of pressure. So it's very important that you kind of pick through the strings. The whole time maintaining the angle. And you can mess around with your thumb position to try to get it somewhat comfortable. Now the other thing I see a lot is some people with their hands, if you got a big hand, you might find it hard to keep that finger straight. Your finger ends up doing one of these and just curving because you had so much finger there. So I've showed my students how to actually over fret. And what you do is instead of having the tip of the finger just making contact with the E string, let it go up by half an inch or so. Now for me it doesn't work very well, but I've seen a lot of students that have basically a night and day difference between having one strum of a chord like this and another strum with the finger up a little bit. It puts, again, the finger in a different position, which might work for you or might, just sound horrible. So you have to really experiment. For me, I typically have my finger pretty flush with the E string, but I've seen people, with 1.5 inches of finger just sticking out. And what that does, it keeps the finger straight. So if you find your finger doing one of these, stick the finger up and allow it to kind of straighten out and see how that works for you. So with those 2 points, the angle of the neck, that 45-degree from the left, elbow in, wrist kind of twisted out, and then having the side of the first finger, again adjusting for any kind of overfretting, that's the first step for barring. Now what you do at this point, once you have that 5th fret clean, go up to the 7th fret. Same way, start on the wire, roll to the left, and put you right in position. You can practice going between those two. Now the goal here in this video is to play what's called a minor 7 chord. So this is a very simple bar chord as far as fingerings. You have the first finger, it's going to bar all the 5th fret. This is actually based on the E string, so we're going to do an A minor 7. So you're going to bar the 5th fret, and you bring your 3rd finger in on the 7th fret on the A string. This is the chord I was playing in the beginning of the video. Now, as soon as you introduce that 3rd finger, the culprit here, that 3rd finger always wants to sneak to the left and get close to that fret wire. It doesn't take much. If I go up to the wire, and that's a lovely sound. So if you notice like some notes are just not ringing at low end, slide that 3rd finger over. You have to give that 3rd finger a lot of space. Other chords that you'll learn where you start adding more fingers are going to require that 3rd finger to not be too close to the wire. So basically your goal here is to get the side of the 1st finger with the elbow in, keeping the guitar slung out, and that 3rd finger on that 7th fret with plenty of room. Once you have that one, this is an A minor 7. If you take the same chord up 2 frets, you get a B minor 7. Now all I'm doing here is I'm strumming through the chord, and I'm picking all upstrokes as I kind of descend the chord. This way I can hear any individual string noises. Now the chord is completely movable, so that's the B, that's the A. If you want to get kind of ambitious, you could go down to the G on the 3rd fret. And ultimately the hardest one is going to be the F on the 1st fret. It's going to be the widest stretch and the biggest challenge for your callus. So, you know, don't go too crazy with working the callus. If it really hurts, I mean, just build up slowly with that 1st finger. Work the bar, you know, even just doing the fret, walk some scales. Once your finger has a few minutes of rest, go back and try the bar again. Don't sit there for 45 minutes trying to, you know, He-Man your way through or She-Ra your way through this bar. But ultimately, once you have the main points down, the angle of the guitar neck, and the 1st finger position, over fretting or not, then bar chording really isn't that bad. Again, the cat agrees. Alright, so today you learned how to position your left hand to tackle the dreaded bar chords, or how to plan on going to the bar once you fail miserably at trying to bar a chord. So again, keep in mind the points, the angle of the guitar neck, the left hand 1st finger position, over fretting, you know, experiment a little bit. Most importantly, don't crush your guitar or crush your left hand. You know, dive in slow. Give it a few, you know, even like 30-45 seconds. Take a break for a few minutes, come back to it. Don't just do 30 minutes straight in the bar chord. It's not pretty. You'll end up crying in a corner of the room in fetal position. I've seen it. It's not good. So this is Matt Quistor for Crazy Mo Guitar. Check out the website, crazymoguitar.com. We're very close to launching, and hopefully you'll enjoy the free videos we have to offer, and maybe check out some of the what we have to offer on our website. All right, signing off. See ya.